Hello everyone. I'm Yumu from Susan's family. Today, I will show you how to make tribute to art series Impressionism bouquet, Monet's Garden. For this electronic chart, you can enter en.sussudiy.com to view it. This bouquet is divided into two parts, the flower branches and the packaging. We have a separate tutorial for the packaging part. Here, we will only cover the flower branches. Let's get started. There are mainly 6 types of flower branches: daisies, cotton, ferns, roses, tulips, and hydrangeas. Among these, the daisies and cotton do not form separate flower branches. When assembling other flower branches, you can choose to add them in according to your preference. There are several daisies. This is divided into flowers, calyx, and assembly. The flowers are pre-made. They do not need to be made. The calyx uses the magic ring method. It is crocheted in rounds counterclockwise. The stitches used include chains, single crochets, and slip stitches. Let's move forward. Take out the corresponding yarn. Here, for convenience, I will use cotton yarn for the demonstration. Colors are random. For specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes can be referenced on the website of this product. And the paper chart. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Remember to leave a 40 cm yarn tail before casting on. The magic ring can be larger here. Then chain 1 as the beginning chain for single crochet. This doesn't count as one stitch. Work 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Close the ring after completing these. You can move the work to the right a bit. Then pull the yarn tail. Tighten the center. Try to tighten it as much as possible. Place the excess yarn tail on the right side. Finally, work 1 slip stitch into the first single crochet. If you do not know where the very first stitch is, count the stitches from back to front. Gently tighten the joining slip stitch. Cut the yarn. Secure with 1 chain. Leave a 5 cm tail and cut. Tighten. Weave in the tail following the texture on the wrong side. You can work a few more stitches to secure it. Trim the excess tail. The calyx is now completed. Cut a piece of thin wire about 30 centimeters long. The color of the wire used in this tutorial just as an example. Please follow the actual project you have. Insert into the center of the cast-on the wrong side of the calyx. And a bit towards the edge. Tighten and secure. Apply glue on the wrong side of the calyx. Then take out a daisy. Cut one off. Trim it a bit. Glue it onto the wrong side of the calyx. Make sure the clear and beautiful texture of the flower faces upward. Press securely. Then wrap the reserved yarn from the calyx around the thin wire. You can apply a little glue at the start. Trim excess tail. Finally, apply a little glue. Secure the tail. One daisy is now complete. Make the rest of the daisies using the same method. Next, let's move to cotton. Let's look at the finished product. The cotton consists of a shell and a cotton ball. First, complete the cotton ball. Then, use the ring method to start. Crochet the shell in rounds. Finally, assemble it. The new stitches used are SC2-in-1 and TR2 tog. Let's get started. First, make the inner cotton ball. This means gluing these white balls together to form a 5-petal cotton flower. After applying the glue, you need to hold them tightly for a moment. This makes it more secure. Like this, one cotton ball is completed. Next, repeat this process. Refer to the chart. Make the remaining cotton balls yourself. After completing all the cotton balls, you need to crochet the outer shell. I will continue to demonstrate with cotton yarn. The color is random. Start with adjustable magic ring. Make one beginning chain. Work 5 single crochets in the first round. Close the ring. Gently tighten it slightly. Join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Tighten. The first round is completed. Move on to the second round. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Work single crochets in each stitch. Weave in the cast-on yarn tail as you crochet. Crocheting evenly will make the piece naturally curl. Adjust the piece to make the right side faces out. Join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Trim off the excess tail from the cast-on. The second round is completed. Continue to the third round. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Make a SC2 in 1 at the slip stitch position below. That is, work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. SC2 in 1 completed. Continue making corresponding SC2 in 1s to finish the round. Finish with a slip stitch. The third round is complete. For the following round 4, crochet the corresponding stitches according to the chart. Please complete it. Now crochet round 5. Chain 3 as the beginning chain. Work a TR2 tog. Yarn over twice. Insert into the next stitch. Yarn over and draw through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over on after another. Draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 2 times. 1, 2. 1 unclosed treble crochet is done. Continue and pick the next stitch on the left to work the second unclosed treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert. Pull through. Yarn over one after another. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat 2 times. The second unclosed treble crochet is done. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. The TR2 tog is done. Work 3 chains. In the second chain from the hook, pick the half loop and work 1 slip stitch. Continue picking the left side chain half loop and slip stitch. No need to tighten. Work 4 chains. Work 1 slip stitch in left side of the TR2 tog entry position below. Slightly tighten. Continue on the next 2 stitches on the left side. Work 2 slip stitches as a bridge. Treat the already crocheted stitches as one group. Continue and work another group. First, work 3 chains. Then work 1 TR2 tog. First, pick up under the same position and the stitch on the left side. Work 2 unclosed treble crochets. Yarn over and pull through once. 1 TR2 tog is completed. Continue with 3 chains. Starting from the second chain from the hook. Correspondingly make 2 slip stitches. 4 chains. In the same entry position below, work 1 slip stitch. Continue with 2 slip stitches as a bridge. The second group is completed. Continue following this method and complete this round. For the last slip stitch of the final group, work into the slip stitch position from the previous round. Then leave a 30 cm yarn tail, and fasten off the yarn. Round 5 is now completed. The cotton shell tutorial is finished. After completing the shell, the next step is to assemble the cotton. First, take 2 pieces of 30 cm thin wire and twist them together. Fold it in half. Bend the top into a Y shape. Twist underneath. Insert from the wrong side of the shell into the center. The wire will be secured inside the piece. Next, thread the reserved yarn tail into the sewing needle, with the right side of the shell facing you. Insert the sewing needle from front to back into the left side group. The right side entry position of the TR2 tog. Take out the cotton ball, pull it through the center. Then pick up the group of stitches through the needle into 2 strands on the tip. Pull the yarn through. Adjust the cotton ball. Match its gap with the group. Pull tight. Then insert at the entry position. Insert at the entry position on the left side. Through the tip on the left side group. Slightly tighten. Then pull through the right side entry position of the TR2 tog on the left side. Insert on the left side. Repeat this process. Continue securing the rest of the groups. Finally, come out from the center. Thread it through all the fixed loops. Pull tight. This makes the cotton ball more compact. Thread the strand out from the bottom. Pick up a few threads and tie a knot. This way, the shell and the cotton ball are assembled. Tidy up the yarn tails. Trim off the excess. Take the yarn from the crocheted shell and wrap it. Secure the yarn tails once completed. One cotton is now done. Make the rest of the cotton in the same way. Next, let's move to the fern. Take a look at the finished product. The fern consists of 3 sizes of leaves: large, medium, and small. Start by crocheting the leaves. When crocheting, include thin wire. Assemble them once completed. Let's get started. Here, I will demonstrate using the large leaf as an example. Take the corresponding yarn. For the sample, continue using cotton yarn. Start with a foundation chain. Hold the yarn in your left hand and the hook in your right hand. Make a knot. Pull tight. Then crochet 7 chains. Start from the second chain from the hook. Insert and work 3 slip stitches in the half loop above. Here, the slip stitches do not need to be pulled tight. Then crochet 1 more slip stitch in the left chain. Insert. Take out the thin wire. Place it above the hook. Leave about 5 centimeters on the left side. Complete the slip stitch. And wrap the wire. We will consider these 5 chains and 4 slip stitches as one small leaf. Then work a chain as a bridge. Continue with another small leaf, which means crochet 5 chains. Start from the second chain from the hook. Correspondingly make 4 slip stitches, and wrap the thin wire on the last stitch. Continue with a chain as a bridge. Crochet another small leaf. Don't forget to wrap the wire on the last stitch. Complete with a chain as a bridge. Continue with small leaves. Here, the number of chains for the leaf is reduced by 1. The technique is similar. Similarly, wrap the wire on the last stitch. Continue to crochet small leaves following the chart. Please notice the changes in the stitch count for the small leaves. After completing the small leaves at the top following the chart, bend the wire downward. Hold it tight. Find the bridge chain below. Pick up the 2 strands of the chain. And the 2 wires behind. Make 1 single crochet. Continue to crochet another small leaf. The last slip stitch here doesn't need to wrap the wire. Crochet normally. Then insert into the corresponding position of the slip stitch on the other side that wraps the wire. Make 1 single crochet. At the same time, wrap the 2 wires. Work single crochets on the bridge chain below. And wrap the wire. Continue to crochet small leaves following the chart. Work 2 single crochets in the corresponding position between the small leaves, while wrapping the wire. Refer to the chart and continue crocheting. Please notice the stitch count changes for the small leaves. Don't make it wrong. After completing the last small leaf, work a single crochet in the slip stitch position. Down below, on the starting 2 chains, correspondingly make 2 single crochets. Wrap the wire as well. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail, and fasten off the yarn. Pull tight. Leave about 5 cm of wire and cut it. Twist the wire. Now 1 large leaf is completed. Tidy it up. We will consider the side with the clearer texture as the right side. The rest of the medium and small leaves are crocheted in a similar way. The stitch count and quantity for the small leaves are different. Please refer to the chart to complete all the leaves. After completing the leaves, proceed with the assembly. First, take out a large leaf and the flower stem. The stitch count for the leaves here is random. Please refer to your actual project. Place the large leaf with the right side facing up. Position it at the top of the flower stem. Tidy up the yarn tail and the wire. Take the yarn used for crocheting the leaf. Wrap it around the flower stem. Apply a bit of glue to secure it in place. Make sure the wrapping is tight and smooth with a nice texture. Wrap about 2 centimeters. Add 2 small leaves on both sides of the large leaf's right side. Place them with the right side forward. Continue wrapping for another 2 centimeters. Add another pair of small leaves below. Then continue wrapping for another 2 centimeters. For the sample, no more leaves are added here. After adding 2 pairs of small leaves, add 2 medium leaves using the same method. For the sample, demonstrate with 1 pair. After adding 2 pairs of medium leaves, continue adding 2 pairs of large leaves. There should be a 2 cm space between each pair of leaves. For the sample, continue demonstrating with 1 pair of large leaves. After all the leaves are added, continue wrapping the flower stem. Leave about 10 centimeters unwrapped at the end. The length left can be adjusted as needed. Secure the yarn tail with glue. Tidy it up. That concludes the demonstration of a fern. Make the rest of the ferns using the same method. Next, let's move to roses. A rose includes leaves, calyx, petals, and assembly. First, complete the crocheting of each part. Finally, assemble them. Start by crocheting the leaves. We will start with the foundation chain. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise along the foundation chain, wrapping thin wire as you go. Several crochet stitches will be used, all of which are marked on the chart. I won't list them one by one. Let's get started. First, cut a piece of thin wire, about 30 centimeters long, and set it aside. Begin with the foundation chain. Pick up the yarn with your right hand, and wrap it around your left little finger. Thread it through between the middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand, and move the hook between these 2 points. Place the hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Using your left thumb and middle finger, pinch the crossing point of the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten. Adjust the loop size. Now start crocheting chains. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. One chain is completed. Such a V-shaped braid represents one stitch. Continue crocheting chains. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This is the second stitch. Repeat this process. Continue to finish all the remaining chains. 3, 4, 5. Like this. The foundation chain is completed. Now let's crochet the first round. Make one beginning chain. Then in the second chain from the hook, crochet one single crochet into the top half loop, which is the second V-shaped braid from the end. Insert the hook. Place the prepared thin wire above the hook. Weave in as you go along. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There are now 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Draw through the 2 loops on the hook. The single crochet is completed, corresponding to the V-shaped braid on the upper right side. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Next, on the left side of the chain, crochet a single crochet into the top half loop. Insert the hook. Wrap the thin wire. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. Draw through the loops on the hook. Another single crochet is completed. Keep going. Continue to crochet single crochets into the top half loop of the left chains. Keep going until you have 1 chain left. Reach the corresponding position. There is now 1 chain left. Crochet 3 single crochets in this chain. Then rotate the piece. You can see that there are 2 strands left at this chain on the other side. Pick up these 2 strands and crochet, which is the same entry position for the single crochets on this side. Slightly adjust the wire so that the lengths of both ends are roughly the same. Then work single crochets into each stitch. Please notice don't insert into the same entry position of the top 3 single crochets. When working on this side, you need to wrap the wire and the starting yarn tail together. Crochet 2 single crochets in the last chain space. Then join with the first single crochet stitch. Insert. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And draw through all the loops on the hook at once. Slip stitch complete. This is the V-shaped braid formed by the slip stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch and needs to be tightened. Like this. The first round is completed. Move on to crochet the second round. Work 2 chains first. Then crochet 1/2 double crochet in the second stitch of the previous round. Yarn over. Insert. Yarn over. And draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. And draw through all 3 loops on the hook. 1/2 double crochet is now complete. Then crochet a CH1 picket. Work 1 chain first. Then pick up the strand closest to you from the HDC stitch and the left side strand. Make 1 slip stitch. Yarn over. And draw the yarn through. And draw through all the loops on the hook. Slip stitch is now complete. This is a CH1 picket. We'll refer to it as a picket later. Next, work 1 double crochet in the left stitch. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over. And draw the yarn through. There are now 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through the first 2 loops, leaving 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through once. 1 double crochet is now complete. Then, make a picket. First, chain 1. Then pick up a strand closer to you, and the strand on the left. Make 1 slip stitch. The picket is now complete. Then, work 1 treble crochet into the stitch on the left. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over. And draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Then yarn over one after another. Draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. Once. Twice. 3 times. 1 treble crochet is now complete. Then, make 1 picket. The next stitch is a TR2 tog. First, make 2 unclosed treble crochets. Yarn over twice. Insert below into the same stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Then yarn over one after another. Draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat twice. This is an unclosed treble crochet. Then, make the second one. Yarn over twice. Insert into the adjacent stitch. Wrap the yarn. Draw the yarn through. Then yarn over one after another. Draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat twice. This is the second one. Then, yarn over, and draw through all 3 loops on the hook. The TR2 tog is complete. Then make 1 picket. Start with 1 chain. Then insert into the front loop only, along with the 2 strands on the left. Make 1 slip stitch. Then move on to another TR2 tog. First, in the same stitch below, and the adjacent stitch, work 1 unclosed treble crochet in each. 1. 2. Then yarn over, and draw through all the loops on the hook. The T-2 tog is complete. Then make 1 picket. Next is a special cluster. First, work 1 unclosed treble crochet in the adjacent stitch. Then work 1 unclosed double crochet in the left stitch. Yarn over the hook. Insert. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Then yarn over again. Pull through the first 2 loops. This is an unclosed double crochet. Then yarn over, and draw through all the loops on the hook. The special cluster is complete. Then make 1 picket. Then work 1 double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Make another picket. Then work 1 half double crochet in the left stitch. Yarn over. Insert. Yarn over, draw the yarn through, then yarn over, and draw through all 3 loops on the hook. The half double crochet is complete. Then make 1 picket. Work 1 single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Then work 1 single crochet in the left stitch. One chain. Followed by 1 double crochet in the same stitch. One picket. One chain. Then work 1 single crochet in the same stitch below. Keep going. Please notice this special cluster. Start with an unclosed double crochet. Then an unclosed treble crochet. Continue to finish the remaining stitches. On the last stitch of the previous round, work at SC2 in 1, which means 2 single crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, SC2 in 1 completed. Then work in the first stitch of the previous round. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Crochet a chain to secure. Leave about 5 centimeters and fasten off the yarn. Pull the yarn tail through. Pull tight. One leaf is completed. With this method, please crochet the remaining number of leaves and set aside. Now let's crochet the calyx. Start with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Let's get started. First, cast on with the magic ring. Pick up the yarn with your right hand. Wrap it twice around your left index finger. There are now 3 strands on your index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger. Pinch where the loops overlap. Take out. Then hold the yarn with your left hand. Insert the hook into the magic ring. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There is now 1 loop on the hook. Continue to crochet 1 chain to secure. Pull tight. Like this. The magic ring is completed. Move on to the first round. Make 1 beginning chain. Then work 5 single crochets in the magic ring. After that, close the magic ring. There are 2 loops which form the ring. Gently pull the starting yarn tail. You can see 1 loop moving. Tighten the moving loop. 1 loop remains. Pull tight the yarn tail directly. This will close the ring. Then, work a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch of this round to finish. Tighten. Now, the first round is completed. Move on to the second round. Make 1 beginning chain. Pick up the stitches from the previous round. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Work this round completely. Please weave in the tails. After completing, join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Tighten. The second round is complete. Now, let's work the third round. Make 1 beginning chain. Then, in the first stitch of the previous round, work at SC2 in 1, 1, 2, SC2 in 1 completed. Continue to pick up stitches from the previous round, and work SC2 in 1S. Work this round completely. After the last stitch is completed, join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Tighten. This way, the third round is completed. Next, let's work round 4. Make 1 beginning chain. Then work 1 single crochet. Next, work 1 SC2 in 1 into the left stitch. This round follow the rule as 1 single crochet and 1 SC2 in 1 repeated. Follow the chart to work this round completely. When done, join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Tighten. This way, round 4 is completed. The side with clearer texture is the right side. When crocheting, keep the right side facing you. For the following rounds 5, 6. Pick up the stitches from the previous round. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Complete these 2 rounds. When crocheting, don't forget to start with a beginning chain and join in round with a slip stitch. As you can see, this is what it looks like after completing round 6. Next, move to round. Start by making 8 chains. Then pick up the half loop on the left side of the second chain from the hook. Make 1 slip stitch, followed by another slip stitch in the half loop on the left side of the adjacent chain. Please notice that neither of these 2 slip stitches needs to be tightened. Continue with the remaining 5 chains. Crochet 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 3 double crochets. When done, skip 2 stitches in the third stitch on the left side, which is the 4th stitch from the previous round. Make 1 slip stitch. Continue with the same stitch on the right side. Start with 8 chains. Then starting from the second chain from the hook, crochet 2 slip stitches, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 3 double crochets. When done, skip 2 stitches, make 1 slip stitch in the third stitch on the left side. Follow the demonstration here. Refer to the chart to finish the remaining part of this round. Finally, in the first stitch of the previous round, make 1 slip stitch. Then secure with a chain. Leave about 20 centimeters of yarn tail, and cut the yarn. This way, the calyx is completed. Now let's crochet the flower. Start with the foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows. Then crochet the petals separately. After completing, roll it up, and sew it into a flower shape. The new stitches used are DC 2-in-1 and DC 3-in-1. Let's get started. First, chain 16. After completing the foundation chain, work the first row. Make 3 turning chains. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet, corresponding to the last chain of the foundation chain. Then chain 1 as a bridge. Then in the second to last stitch of the foundation chain, which is the 6th chain from the end for the swatch here. Work a double crochet. Then chain 1 as a bridge. Then work a double crochet in the left chain. Working double crochets sequentially on the foundation chain in this row, with a chain as a bridge between the double crochets. Please follow this rule. Continue to finish the remaining part of this row. Like this. The first row is completed. Now let's work the second row. Make 3 turning chains. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet, corresponding to the last double crochet of the previous row. Then chain 7 as a bridge. Then work a double crochet in the second to last stitch of the previous row. Since this row is crocheted on the wrong side, the stitch corresponds to the braid above the double crochet on the left, which are these 2 strands. Then chain 7 as a bridge. Work a double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Chain 7 as a bridge again. Continue working double crochets in the stitches of the previous row. Chains are needed between the double crochets, forming these chain spaces. The first 6 spaces are made by chaining 7. Spaces 7-10 are made by chaining 5. The last 5 spaces are made by chaining 3. The final double crochet is worked into the 3rd braid of the turning chain, which is the 2nd braid to the right of this stitch. Pick up these 2 strands. After completing, chain 3. Then turn the piece counterclockwise. Next, in the 2nd to last stitch here, make 1 slip stitch. As you can see, this is what the 2nd row looks like when completed. Start the first small petal. Chain 3 first. Then starting from the 2nd chain from the hook, pick up the half loop on the left and work 2 slip stitches. Then turn the piece counterclockwise. Keep the hook still. The yarn tail is below the piece. After rotating, it should look like this. Then work the first row of the small petal. Make 1 turning chain. Then pick up in the same insertion position as the previous 2nd slip stitch. Which are these 2 strands. Work 1 single crochet. Then in the same insertion position of the slip stitch, work 3 single crochets. Then, pick up in the same insertion position as this slip stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Like this. The first row is completed, a total of 5 single crochets. Now let's work the 2nd row. Make 1 turning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then pick up in the last stitch of the previous row. Work 1 single crochet. Next, work a SC2 in 1 in the left stitch. Continue working 1 single crochet, 1 SC2 in 1, and 1 single crochet. Like this. The 2nd row is completed. Continue working the 3rd row. Make 1 turning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then work 1 SC2 in 1, and 1 single crochet in sequence. The third row is completed. Next, work row 4. Make 1 turning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise, then work 2 single crochets, 2 half double crochets, and 1 double crochet. When done, the next stitch is a DC 3-in-1, which means working 3 double crochets into the same stitch. One, 2, 3. DC 3-in-1 completed. Then work 1 double crochet, 2 half double crochets, and 2 single crochets. After the last single crochet is completed, turn the workpiece. Enlarge the loop on the crochet hook to prevent the loop from slipping off. Then insert the hook into the last double crochet stitch of the second row. And into the loop that was left. Draw the loop through. This way, row 4 is completed. Continue with row 5. Work 1 slip stitch into the last stitch of the previous row. Then work 1 single crochet and 1 half double crochet. After completing, check the stitch. One stitch is with 2 strands of yarn. The strand closer to you is the front loop. The strand farther away is the back loop. Next, pick up the back loop of the stitch on the left. Work 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet. Then pick up the back loop of the next 5 stitches on the left. Work a DC 2-in-1, which means working 2 double crochets in the same position. After completing, pick up the back loop of the stitch on the left. Work 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet. Then, pick up the remaining 3 stitches. Work 1 half double crochet, 1 single crochet, and 1 slip stitch. Then, pick the third stitch of the second row, and work 1 slip stitch. Row 5 is completed. As you can see, this is what it looks like after completing 1 small petal. Now, let's work the second small petal. First, work 3 chains. Then start from the second chain from the hook. Work 2 slip stitches. Then rotate the piece. Make sure the yarn tail is underneath the piece. Then begin the first row. The first row is completed. Continue following the chart and work all the way to the last single crochet of row 4. After completing it, turn the workpiece and stretch it. Release the loops on the hook. Then insert the hook from right to left to pick up the chain from the previous petal's cast-on point. Then draw the loop through. And continue with row 5. Please notice the middle stitches, which are worked into the back loop only. Finally, pick up the next double crochet stitch and make 1 slip stitch. This way, the second small petal is completed. There are 4 small petals in total. Follow the demonstration for the second small petal. Complete the remaining 2 small petals. Now let's work on the medium petals. There are 7 rows in total. Please notice that after completing the first 6 rows, connect to the cast-on point of the previous petal. That means each petal is connected to the previous petal before working the last row. Please complete the first 6 rows first. Now work on row 7. Continue all the way until the stitch to the right of the DC 3-in-1 from last row. When you reach there, work 2 double crochet in the middle stitch of the DC 3-in-1. Then work 1 picket. Followed by another double crochet in the same position. Continue to work the remaining stitches. This way, 1 medium petal is completed. There are a total of 4 medium petals. Please finish the remaining 3. Next, start with the first large petal. Similarly, complete the first 6 rows. Continue with row 7. First, finish the second DC 3-in-1. Then, 1 picket stitch. Continue to crochet the remaining stitches. As you can see, this is what a large petal looks like when completed. There are a total of 6 large petals. Please continue and finish the remaining 5. The last slip stitch. Pick up the third chain of the turning chain. Then crochet 1 chain to secure. Leave about 25 centimeters and cut the yarn. Next, sew the rose piece together. Thread the sewing needle with the reserved yarn tail. Then, position the last row of each petal with the right side facing you. Adjust the shape of the petals. Then turn the workpiece. Start rolling from the small petal to the right. Align the cast-on chain roughly. Please notice that after rolling, the last row of each petal should have the right side facing out. Then secure the bottom of the piece. First, connect it slightly with the adjacent petal. Then thread the yarn tail to the bottom. Sew back and forth a few times to secure. After completing the sewing, weave the yarn tail next to the cast-on chain tail. Make 2 knots to secure it. Trim off the excess tail. This way, the flower is completed. Next, assemble the roses. First, take out the flower stem and calyx. Insert the flower stem from the center of the calyx right side. You can use the hook to widen the middle part first. Then take out the flower. Insert the flower stem from the bottom. Make sure the stem does not show from the top. Then thread the reserved yarn tail from the calyx onto the sewing needle. Sew the bottom of the flower to the calyx. Pick up the last round of the calyx. Sew it to the open area underneath the flower. Each time, pick up about a few strands of yarn. Please adjust the position while sewing to prevent sewing crooked. After securing it firmly, tidy it up. Tie 1 knot. The yarn tail should exit through the center of the beginning chain of the calyx. Leave a little yarn tail and cut it off. Next, take the yarn used for the crochet calyx. Apply glue to the top of the stem. Wrap it. The wrapping should be smooth, tight, and aesthetically pleasing. During the wrapping process, you can add daisies or cotton. The number of daisies is random. You can add 1 piece of cotton. For the sample, we'll demonstrate with 1 daisy. Adjust the quantity based on your preference. Position it well. Make sure the daisy can be seen when packaging. Note that daisies and cotton can be added to any flower branch. The amount added each time can be adjusted. Choose based on your preference. When assembling the flower branches later, we won't demonstrate the assembly of daisies and cotton. Wrap for about 3–4 centimeters. Take out a leaf. With the right side facing up, wrap it together. Continue wrapping downward. Wrap until about 10 centimeters away from the end of the stem. Trim excess tail. Ensure the end of the tail is glued securely so it doesn't come loose. The specific length of the reserved stem can also be adjusted based on your preference. This completes the tutorial of assembling the roses. Assemble the remaining roses in the same way.